Question 11. Find dy dx for the y equal to 2x squared minus x plus 1 by first principle. So this one you need to memorize. In order to use the first principle, first thing you must know that you have to start from the function y. You copy like this to the whole thing, copy first, and what you need to plus is you have to plus with the small changes of the y, and then for the x also you have to plus with the small changes of the x. Right, that is how you do the question using the first principle. So copy the question. If you see y, you plus delta y. If you see x, you plus with the small changes of x. Delta x, delta is means small changes. Right? Okay, so now we need to expand and simplify. Before that, we have y already, right? This is our y. This is the first equation. This is the second equation, but we need to simplify first. Now let's simplify. Y plus delta y is equal to 2x squared plus 2x delta x plus delta x squared minus x minus delta x plus 1. Now bear in mind that delta x is one terms. It means small changes. Delta y means small changes in y. So we will multiply 2x squared, then we have 4x delta x, we make it in bracket 2 delta x the whole thing square. This means the whole thing square minus x, this is square, minus delta x plus 1. Now we need to simplify until the simplest form. So we have 2x squared. Now we have 4x delta x minus out the delta x here. So let's focus to the light term. We have 4x delta x. Alright, so we can write like this, plus 4x delta x minus delta x. Alright, and then we have the 2 delta x squared minus x plus 1. Alright, so if we rearrange nicely, we will write the 1 with the 2x squared minus x plus 1, then plus the 2 delta x squared plus 4x delta x minus delta x. Right, like this. Carefully, so that we won't miss out any terms. Right? Okay. Now, if you look at that, you will notice that you can simplify to the simplest form. So if I am going to take this thing, minus out the y here, it means that this thing, y is, let me write down my y. My y is 2x squared minus x plus 1. So if I minus, I will get delta y is equal to 2 delta x squared here plus 4x delta x minus delta x. Right? Because just now we expand, we have 2x squared, we have 4x, right, delta x, and then we have the delta x squared. We have to times the 2 because of the 2 here, right? So we check again, there's nothing wrong. So finally we have to divide by delta x for every term. Okay, that because the definition for the dy dx is delta y over delta x. So we have to divide. So finally, we will simplify. We got 2 delta x plus 4x minus 1. Alright, so finally we will say, we'll apply the limit, the concept of limit, say this delta y delta x. If we apply the limit delta x approaches 0 for the delta y over delta x, we will get this thing will be 0 off, because delta x approaches 0, this will be 0 off. So we will just get the answer 4x minus 1. Alright, we will get 4x minus 1. So that is so-called using the first principle. When we reach here, this is a concept, we will say this is dy dx, because dy dx is defined as the delta y over delta x, small change in y over small change in x when delta x approaches 0. Still remember, we have the curve like this, and then we have the triangle. Alright, we have a point on the curve, right? Then we have the delta y here, we have the delta x here, right? Okay, so at this point, the dy dx is defined as delta y over delta x when this thing is very small, approaches 0. So we have to apply the limit when delta x approaches 0. So finally we write this. The condition is we will make sure we apply the right concept. Dy dx is delta y over delta x when we use a concept of limit when delta x approaches 0. It means what? It means, okay, I'm going to explain to you. You must understand this. It means that delta y over delta x, it will become closer and closer to the 0. So when it becomes closer and closer to the 0, the triangle tends to become very, very, very small. So when it becomes very, very small, you will see at this point, for sure, delta x will be almost 0, right? Do you understand? Delta x approaches 0 for the delta y over delta x is here. Okay, so this is concept of limit. You must understand the limit, then only you can use the first principle. So dy dx is equal to 4x minus 1. If you differentiate you do dy dx from here directly, 4x minus 1, you won't get any marks because this is not differentiate. It's actually using the first principle here. It's very important for you to use a first principle. What is the first principle? Is this concept, right? The curve and the tangent, and the delta y over delta x will be the limit when delta x approaches 0 at the point, right? That's all my sharing on the first principle. Till then, bye bye and have a nice day. This is our answer for question 11. Let's have a look. If you write y plus delta y equal to 2x plus delta x squared minus bracket x plus delta x plus 1, make sure there is a bracket, right? So after that, you expand and simplify to the simplest form with the 2 delta x, and the most important is you must apply the limit when delta x approaches 0 for delta y over delta x. It should be equal to 4x minus 1 because delta x is approaches 0. You can substitute delta x as 0. So finally, your first derivative using the first principle. The first principle is always using concept of the gradient of the line. So that is the answer for dy dx equal to 4x minus 1.